Yes.
Well, welcome everyone to our Coaching Cafe. Good day to you all logging in from all around. We've got Brisbane, Melbourne. Welcome back, Debbie. Philippa from Sydney. Well, welcome back. Great to see you all. I'm Natalie Ashdown here with you today. Welcome to our coaching webinar, where today we are looking at the characteristics of coaching champions. So if I seem a little bit excited, it's not just because I'm rocking the double denim today, it's because I have a special guest on the line for you. And we're going to hear from one of these coaching champions today. Your opportunity to think about what does it take to actually champion coaching within your organization, and then hear from a very inspirational person around that topic. So as always, before I begin, if I can find my forward button, here we go. Before I begin, I'd just like to acknowledge the traditional owners, the custodians on the lands on which we're all meeting today, all around Australia, and people dialing in from overseas as well, which is super. And their continuing connection to the lands, the waters, communities of Australia. We pay our respects to them and to their elders past, present and emerging. And I pay my respects to anyone who might be a traditional owner or custodian of the land on which you are coming from in your country today. As I mentioned, very excited about our session today. We are going to be talking about the characteristics of the coaching champion. So in our past webinars, we've looked at what does coaching culture look like? How do we link that through to the strategic direction of the organization? We've done some mental health sessions recently as well. We've taken a bit of time out to look at lockdown, but I'm very excited today to be talking about what does it mean to really champion coaching within your organization. I can see the extensive list of attendees we have here. I can see there's a lot of champions on the line. So as always, please feel free to hit that chat box, be interactive with us as we go along. And as I mentioned, we want to learn from one of these champions today. If you are new to our Coaching Cafe, welcome. We are all about creating a coaching community where we come together to share learning, our experiences. We have thought-provoking conversations about topics which are relevant right here and now to coaching. And of course, if you want your CCEUs, I will make them available at the end of the session for you. So if you're new, welcome. We come together every Friday at 12 noon Melbourne time. Shout out to our Brisbane people who have just had their second coffee for the day. So with daylight savings kicking in. But we come together at this time every Friday. It's an absolute joy. I love coming together with you all. Welcome back to all the regulars who make this Coaching Cafe such a great thing to be part of. So if you're keen, please hit that chat box to interact with us, ask your questions, jump in, whatever you like, so that we can make this lots of really interactive as well. So let's get into our conversation for today. And I want to throw it out to you. When we think about, oh, good morning, Philippa, your first Coaching Cafe. Well, it won't be your last, we're sure about that. Oh, and Anna, your first session as well. Welcome to you. So welcome to all the newbies, and welcome back to all the regulars, all the champions that we've got on the line as well. So let's put it out to the chat. Let's have a think about it. Characteristics of a coaching champion. If you are championing coaching in your workplace, which I'm sure a lot of you are, if you're bringing the culture of coaching through your workplace, what are the kind of characteristics? What do we have to bring, do you think, in order to be able to champion coaching within our workplace or influence and make a difference in this regards? Jump in, everybody. Oh, there's lots of people who are here for the first time. Yeah, thanks, Anna. So if Anna's here for the first time, she's jumping into the chat already. Thank you so much. So you said good active listening. Yes, I agree with you. So we need, as coaching champions that we all are, we need to have that good active listening, don't we? We need to be role modeling what it really means to be coaching in the workplace. Great. Other things you're thinking of, everybody? Jump into the chat there. Well, here they come. Excellent. Rosemary, thank you. You've said use our networks to spread the word. Yes, I see it. I see like a dashboard, which is like the organization on a dashboard, like, I don't know, air traffic control or something like that. and I see lights lighting up, you know, like, or pins where there's a bit of coaching going on there and a bit of coaching going on there, like these lights all lighting up, and then all of a sudden it all comes together. So we want to be spreading out our network to make those lights come on across the organization. I love that kind of analogy. Thank you. What else have we got here? Oh, it's really going hot. That's fantastic. So using our networks to spread the word, being inquisitive. Thanks, Rebecca. Being inquisitive, asking questions during our conversation. So that's part of role modeling it, isn't it? That everyday coaching. It's not like, oh, I'm doing coaching to you, you are being coached, you know. It's part of our everyday. Yes, spot on. So being inquisitive, asking questions during the conversation. Rosemary agrees with you, Debbie. So nice. Here's a coaching champion jumping into our conversation. Thanks, Debbie. Using coaching at all of our conversations with people at different levels of the organisation. Yeah, so if we are really championing coaching within our organisations, we're coaching up, downwards, sideways, peers. We're really role modelling that as we go along as well. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Fiona, thanks for jumping in. Referring to each other, different coaches are strong and interested in different coaching techniques. Yeah, so it is about, isn't it? So the coaching champion, I like what you're saying there. We do what we're doing now. We link in with other coaches. We learn from each other. We grow and develop together as a community. Within the organisation, we're growing that community of coaches and coaching, and also outside our organisations in what we're doing here. Thank you. Sorry, I just have to lean in because the text is really tiny on my screen here. And Chris, you've jumped in and said, defining a conversation is distinct from just listening. Yeah, so we're actually having conversations, aren't we, than just having chats or just doing the listening. So something comes from that conversation. Yeah, thank you. Great, wonderful. So you've got lots of characteristics generating. I had a bit of a think about you all, the people that we work with, that we have the privilege to work with on a day-to-day basis. And I also had to think about the person I'm going to introduce you to shortly. Characteristics I thought about of the person who is bringing coaching into the organisation, influencing coaching, championing coaching within the organisation. I'm thinking about passion. So we are all passionate about coaching. What's interesting to me here is it's not the zealot passion. It's not the over enthusiastic young puppy zealot that kind of turns everyone off, evangelistic kind of passion. It's the passion, I think, that comes from inside to want to make a difference. And we're sharing that in our own ways, in an authentic way as well. I'm thinking about things like vision. So everyone that I've talked to that has a vision, they have a vision for their organisation, a vision for their team. There's things that they'd like to see and achieve in their organisation, team, business unit, whatever it is, and they bring that forward as well. You've often got to have the vision when other people don't have the vision as well. So you're holding the torch because not often other people in the organisation can't see that pathway. So you're holding the torch for that. Definitely need persistence just to do this on a daily basis, be consistent in our messaging and our approach. A lot of resilience, actually. So there's been people who have been passionate about coaching. They've put the proposal together, for example, to do the certificate for workplace and business coaching. And then, you know, they haven't got sign off, or the approvals haven't been there. So you've got to have that resilience to keep going and keep trying, keep working on different managers, different people, that sort of thing as well. I said creativity, so we've got to get a bit creative about how we introduce coaching and what that might look like in the organisation. Maybe it's a one-on-one, maybe it's one-on-one coaching, maybe it's a leader as coach program, maybe it's full accreditation. We have to be creative in actually how we do that. Maybe we're just introducing coaching as conversations within another development program that we're doing. So we're kind of seeding in the information there. That's all possible as well. Feel free to keep jumping into the chat. I've just got some ideas for you here as well. So the other thing I think is couple of the most important things is that focus on people. So everyone on the line here, you know, we are here because of the focus on people, that deep desire to bring out the potential in the people that we're working with. And I also relate that to a belief that coaching will benefit the organisation and benefit the people, the individuals, the humans in the organisation. And of course, they're great coaches. So what we are seeing more and more, in fact, pretty well across the board, is that the champions of coaching are actually great coaches. They're credentialed coaches, or they're qualified coaches. So they might be qualified in our certificate for example, gone on to do the diploma, achieved some International Coach Federation credentials as well. So they're great coaches that role modeling, that walking the talk that we're all part of as well. So there's some ideas. They're the kind of people that we are all connecting with. As I said, we're all part of. I'm sure everyone on the line would relate to those characteristics in yourselves as well. If you don't, I hope you do, because I'm sure this is the case. Feel free to jump in with other ideas you've got that you've got there as well. Alrighty, so it's my pleasure to actually welcome to the line. I want to learn from a coaching champion, a person who I think is a coaching champion, and I'm sure you'll agree. I want to introduce Leisa Bowness to you. She's the Manager of Organisational Capability, Safety and Wellbeing at Resources, Safety and Health in Queensland. Now, I have known Leisa for a long time. I think it's nearly 10 years, so we might have to break up and do some long service leave together, Leisa. I've known Leisa for a long time. We worked together to implement coaching and a culture of coaching within Sun Super originally, all those years ago. It's hard to contain my excitement, but also my admiration. Lisa, so I hope you don't mind if I'm getting a little bit gushy here. But you know, not only is she super cool and super awesome, she's a great coach. She's an amazing champion for coaching. And I just want to welcome you to the line, Lisa, because it's so great to be able to learn from you. And thank you for your time with us all today.
I think you need to start my video, Natalie.
Oh, do I? Okay, I was wondering what I might have to do there. So thank you. Oh, there you go. More, make a co-host. There you go. Making sure that works. Just proving to everyone that we do this live.
Yeah.
Is that working for you now?
Let's see.
Oh, there you are.
Am I there?
Yeah, we can see you. Thank you.
Good.
Wonderful.
I can't see myself in this one. That's okay.
Oh, wonderful. I'm making sure that I'm actually recording this as well. Yep, I am. Good. That's fantastic. Good. Yeah, no, wonderful. Well, Leisa, thank you so much for being here. I'm wondering if you would like to share some tips or key insights. You've been doing this for over 10 years now, introducing coaching in various forms within the organisations that you've worked with. So we would be really keen if there's some tips or some information that you'd like to share with us, things that we need to consider to do this. Over to you.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here and talk about this. I think it's actually since 2007, Natalie, that we've got this coaching thing going together. And I think I have something that might be worth a bit of money, a limited edition first print that's signed by you. So I'll put that away in the safe when we're finished today. Yeah. But that one was published in 2009. So I think it was a couple of years before that. But yeah, thank you for the opportunity to be here. And as much as you're rocking the double denim today, I think we've got the double passion and ideas for what makes a great coaching champion. Everything you've said was on my little dot points of key things I wanted to talk about. So I'll just start firstly with I've done this over 3 different organizations now. And I think we had such a long time at Sun Super. We really started off and it really picked up a lot of momentum. And In my last department, we did it a little bit differently. And in my new organization, I've been here just over 12 months now, it's a little bit different again. So I think that's one of the things to note. One key piece of advice is start where you can. And that's going to be different for whatever your culture is and what's in process right now and the kind of people and employee engagement you have. So start where you can, and it doesn't have to be big. As you said before, find those people who will be your champions, who are interested in this as much as you are. Also, be prepared to go slow, because when we have this passion for this thing, we just want everybody to benefit from it. And we're there, right? We need to remember lots of people are still back here. So we need to sometimes slow down a little bit with what we're doing and what we're trying to achieve and get people involved in. And my third key piece of advice is be the lived experience. So be a coachee, let yourself be coached, get involved with the coach yourself. Live your coaching practice through meetings, in your leadership style, through regular conversations you have with people. And with that too, really keep connected with coaching networks and supports like this beautiful opportunity you give people here today. So I think the lived experience, like you need to walk the talk, and that actually starts giving people something to look at and go, oh, that works well. How might I be able to try a little bit of that too? They're probably my three key pieces of advice that I've learned over the years.
Yeah, I love what you say there, and I'm relating to each of those pieces, because the start somewhere I think is really important, because we think, well, maybe we're not in that position of influence, like we're not the people capability manager or something like that, but we can still make some starts. Yeah,
absolutely.
And could you share with us, like in your experience, Leisa, like what kind of starts have you made? Like what kind of things have you done to kind of get that momentum going?
Well, the first start was three of us Sun Super staff sitting in a room with you doing our certificate qualification. So we started with 3 people in an organisation of just under 1,000 at the time, and we grew out from there. So the next step was to find a champion, who I found Sharon. She was starting up a quality team in the call centre or across the administration part of Sun Super, and she was happy to work with me to put this coaching practice in place to improve quality results across the quality feedback mechanism that we had in place. And that was a big success. So start with the people who want your business, who want your work, who want you to be part of something with them. And then you're starting to build your kind of returns on investment as you go along, and people start to pay attention then. Another example of a small thing is, as I said before, be the lived example. So your leadership style, how you do your conversations with your teams, talk with people in a coaching and conversational manner. Again, small starts, and people kind of like, oh, you always seem to have a good result with that. Could you possibly mentor me in how you do that? So there's lots to do. And you talked about the network. It's like social network theory. All these little bits start to become connected. And before you know it, where we ended up in Sun Super, coaching was actually one of the top 3 capabilities for leadership positions. And it wasn't even on a role profile before that.
Yeah, amazing. I think that's also, we've talked about that. That's how you can start to see that a culture of coaching is coming into the organisation.
Absolutely.
Because it starts to end up on those capability frameworks. That's it. Or a pillar within other interventions or other initiatives that are going on as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was wondering what you around, that kind of that need to go a bit slower. That's what I was sort of talking about, that you don't want to be that super zealot because it's a bit too in your face. That I can imagine that could be a bit challenging, having to go slow. I wonder if you relate to that or other challenges that you might have experienced, over your years of implementation.
Yeah, I absolutely do. I was at Sun Super for around 12 years. And then I left Sun Super and went to a government department. And I'd taken coaching with the team from nothing to something pretty big. So I was kind of there. And I went into this new department and I'm like, okay, what are you doing for coaching? What? No.
Look around.
Isn't that what happens at my kid's sports game on the weekend, coaching?
Right.
Yeah. So it was one of the lessons I learned earlier on was about slowing down and taking some steps back and actually really observing the landscape as to where we were at. And then where were the points I could start to make a little bit of leverage. And it is hard. It's so hard, particularly when, it just works. Like, can't you just listen to me because it works, right? I'll tell you now, it works. That's not good. And, you have to put the business lens over your passion. And that's probably something else to think about too. What's the business case? What's the return on investment? How can you do a cost benefit analysis? All of this stuff drives me to tears, but it's so important to get this stuff across the line. And I think you will feel a little bit deflated at times when you have something you're so passionate about. Like, I can just feel myself now talking about it. I'm just like, I love this shit. Like, give me more.
Absolutely.
And but the business, we need to make sound business decisions, and particularly if you're in leadership or management roles or leading functions, that's our role. So we have to get that kind of incorporate the passion with the strategy and the business thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. I've written that down. I'm like, passion plus the business case, passion plus the business lens, I think. And I think that's a characteristic of champions that I see. They're actually able to put together that business case. They put together the case studies, the return on investment. So it's not just believe me, I know it can happen. Look at the evidence.
Yeah.
And it's not just, I've got a lived experience, it's look at the evidence. We've spent some time on the Coaching Cafe looking at return on investment, the qualitative measures, the quantitative measures. So it's doing the work is, for those business cases as well.
Yeah, and that's been a learning of mine too, how to establish that kind of persuasion over time to connect all of those things. When I introduced this at Sun Super, I was lucky because that was my colleague, Sharon, who we worked really well together. And she's like, I've got to do this thing and I need help. Okay, I'll help you. We don't always have that first up. We don't always have that opportunity to create that example. So the business thinking is something I've learned over time as well.
Yes, absolutely. I think, and we can always continue to improve that as well. And there's a point that I just want to highlight there. It's a subtle point, but what you did to achieve a lot of your success was look for where's the inroad, where's the business I can support, who's got the business problem that where coaching might actually benefit. So we're looking for how do we match coaching to the business problem or the business benefit and build it from there as well. Yeah, so you've got to keep that's where the network comes into it, isn't it?
That's it, yep. And the coaching solution will be different for whatever the problem is that you're trying to solve.
Yes.
So the quality team was different, call centre's different, dealing with leaders in the public service is different. They'll all have a little bit of a different problem that they're looking to be solved. Yeah,
I can't believe we're right on time. I probably shouldn't have blabbed on in the beginning and wasted all that time.
That's all right.
We just want to hold on to you and just learn from you.
We can do part two.
We're going to need to do part two, absolutely. And I'll just say, hi, everyone. Let's listen to Leisa, without that big introduction that we need to do. But if anyone's got a question, a burning question for Leisa, please feel free to pop it into the chat. And I think we could come back with round two as well to ask all these great questions. So Fiona says, I agree. I've approached with a major HR project plans for other matters for high level approval and formal cascading down the organisation. I'm now achieving great traction with offering coaching by trained coaches. Yeah. And rapidly generating the appetite. I love that word as well. And I do agree with you there, Fiona, and I think you would have experienced this as well, Leisa. It's a bit like, oh, what are they doing over there? How are they achieving their success? I'll have what they're having. Yeah. And that's generating the momentum as well.
Yeah. Sometimes it's, coaching is not about competition, but some people feel very competitive. And when they see the success over there in another team, it's like, oh, I want that and I'll be better. Then they come knocking.
Yeah. And one final question I have is around is around something that's coming up for me. It's around ownership. So what's your opinion, just for what it's worth? Because I see sometimes some egos in this space, like I own the coaching space, I own the coaching program, as opposed to going, no, we all own coaching. We're all a part of this. Have you got I mean, I know that you're really, collaboration is one of your gifts and strengths, but have you got an opinion on that, just to round us off, perhaps?
Yeah. So, in my experience, I feel like coaching gives freedom to the person asking the questions. And the freedom is not just for me as the coach, but also for the coachee to find their own answers and create their own path. And that's where the ownership and the dictatorship actually goes away. And I think the spirit of coaching is freedom, freedom to choose in one way or another. And I think we see people, oh, I do that, I own that, that's my thing. Look, it's great to be accountable for something. But with coaching, we need to give the freedom for the coach and the coachee, and that is actually demonstrated. There's so many research studies on having that freedom to choose that create the effectiveness and the efficiency.
Yeah, wonderful response. Thank you. I'm hearing it's about us as coaching champions leading the way, but people can own it, own their own journey, own their own coaching, own what it looks like in their business, how it's going to work. And it's our opportunity to lead that within our organizations as well. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I really can't believe I apologize to everyone, because I did burn a bit of time at the beginning, and now all we want to do is talk to you. But if we could perhaps invite you back for another session, just to share your wealth of knowledge and experience, I'm sure we'll all be super grateful to you, Leisa. So thank you so much. It's wonderful. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks, and I've Natalie. Written a post-it note full of notes already. So we'll capture those notes and stick them in our blog as well, if you'd like to catch up. So if anyone is interested, we have a diploma in workplace and business coaching coming up. We have where we're talking about coaching culture and doing advanced coaching skills. We've got mental health first aid week coming up next week as well. So please feel free to connect with that as well. As I always say, thanks once again, Leisa. Happy Friday, everyone. And most importantly, enjoy your coaching and enjoy the difference that you're making, because I really feel like we all are coaching champions. Thank you, everyone. We'll say goodbye for now. And if those of you that are holding around for a CCU certificate, just hold on the line and I'll put up the screen share. So thanks, everyone. Enjoy your coaching.
Bye-bye.